Now we are going to talk about an employee who is confused about what he should do with his current job. On one hand, he wants to stay, and on the other hand, he wants to quit. This is causing in him serious level of overthinking. When such a person ends up overthinking about what to do with his job, the symptom will show in his performance. No matter how much he tries to hide his dilemma, it will show in his work, which becomes less efficient and effective. At the mental level, they'll feel burdened because they are neither here nor there. It feels like pulling and pushing at the same time. His mind goes into overdrive. In one moment, he sees himself quitting the job, and in another moment, he sees himself staying in a job, old and worn out at a ripe old age. Makes thousands of calculations in his mind, compares the salary here and there, and he repeats that again and again. Emotionally, he is torn apart. Feels like his head is going to explode. No matter what, he is not able to come to a decision. This is an overthinking problem and a prelude to proper decision making. Cause of this overthinking is usually poor thinking skills and the inability of the person to follow proper decision making process. Just because somebody is able to think about a problem doesn't make him a good decision maker. Without going into the details, because it's not the objective of this book, let me illustrate to you how a decision should be made. First, the problem must be defined, and then the desired objectives must be clearly identified. In this case, the problem is whether to stay or quit. However, most people are not aware of what is an objective. People who overthink about potential decisions basically are unaware of this very important step in the process of decision making. For example, in the case of this person, we have to ask him what is his objective. Is it to get more money or to get a better career? Is it to have security over long term? Is it to get relevant experience? Is it to get revenge on the supervisor or the organization for some misgivings? Is it to solve some kind of relationship problems, home? This way, you see, there are many objectives that must be factored in. Instead of going through the objective and questioning themselves, people go directly into the third step of the decision making, in which they analyze the option. There are many dimensions on which the analysis must be done, but people who overthink will just stick to one or two parameters. Here, the employee is just considering salary. However, you should consider other factors like the reason salary offered is higher. You should also consider type of organization and its sustainability over time. You should also think about the parameter of career and the impact of either options to quit it will have on his learnings, achievements. There are many more factors that would need to be considered, like location, benefits, learning opportunities, so on. Really using various analytical processes, weighing which dimensions are more important for that person based on the objectives that he has identified, should come to a final decision. That decision will involve a trade-off, meaning that he cannot have the cake after eating it. If he wants to keep the cake, he should not be eating it. Because the person here is not able to go to the proper decision-making process, his mind is spiraling in a vicious thinking chain whereby he both wants to eat the cake and still have the cake. The solution for this person to stop his overthinking is to follow the decision making process that I prescribed earlier. If he is not able to make the proper steps in the process identified earlier, he should get the help of an expert whom he trusts. This person should have enough experience based on his age, which will provide wisdom, and his diverse career that has exposed him to various types of organization and careers and people. By consulting such a person, our professional here will be able to identify the objectives that he actually wants and will be able to cover many more dimensions for each of the options which needs to be considered before he can make a decision and make the trade-off. If you will recall the example of my friend who had a stomach problem and made the conclusion that he had a liver issue, and you'll be able to relate it to this case of professional man who is confused about staying or quitting his job. A friend needed to consult a doctor who had the experience and the knowledge, told him that it was nothing to do with the liver, but it was an infection in his intestine. Similarly, the expert in careers guide this professional to the correct decision based on the objectives that he has. However, I want to warn you that any expert who provides biased and the same advices for people is not to be trusted, because every person has got different objectives when it comes to life decisions or even simple preferences. Test of an expert is whether he probes deeply enough to find the objectives that you want to meet by making the decision and bearing with whatever trade-offs you will have to make. Still, this is not enough to qualify as an expert, because many well-wishing people could feel this requirement of identify the objective. Real test is whether that person has got enough knowledge of the many dimensions involved in the various options. So upon getting this advice, the professional who wants to know whether to stay or quit is now relieved from his overthinking.